Hi everyone, welcome back to my art channel. I'm Zia, picture book illustrator, and I'm so happy you're here today. We've got a lot to do in this video, so let's just jump right in. I'm really happy that this Inktober I'm finally doing something real, so yeah. These are some of my sketches so far. In this video I'm going to sketch and brainstorm 10 prompts from number 11 to 20. And then in the second part of the video, I'll be inking one of my sketches for the prompt Dear. I think you'll find it pretty useful because I'm going to share some tips and tricks I've learned about working with ink, especially with fineliners. In one of my previous videos where I shared 16 ways to brainstorm ideas for Inktober, I mentioned that you can always look back at your old artworks and sketchbooks to find inspiration. Sometimes revisiting your older pieces and improving them can spark new ideas. For the promise thing, I'm doing exactly that. I have this character I really love. She's kind of a whimsical, like a little queen, and I'm using her for this prompt. So I'm sketching a new version based on one of my old ideas. I just love keeping my illustrations whimsical and surreal. They make me feel like I'm flying through my dreamland. This is my system for Inktober. I start with quick rough sketches in my small sketchbook just to get ideas out. Then I move to a bigger one to clean up the lines and plan the final piece. After that, I transfer the clean drawing into the notebook I showed you earlier for inking. I like doing a few extra sketches too. I don't stick to the first ideas, and sometimes I change things completely as I go. And the next prompt is shredded. It's a bit tricky to turn that into something whimsical or childlike, but I decided to draw a disappointed little boy who's lost in his own imaginative roleplay. He's been pretending to be a brave ghost, but things didn't go well. His sword is stuck in a watermelon, his bow is broken, and he just looks so disappointed in himself. I love the next prompt. It's drink. You can get really creative with it. At first, I wanted something dreamy like someone sinking into a cup of coffee feeling sad, but then I remembered an older watercolor of some character I made sitting by the beach with a cup of coffee on the head. I love that mood, so I want to explore it more for this prompt. And the next prompt is so open. You could do a tree or elephant or even a human or animal body. For me, I'm not totally sure yet because I have two ideas. One of them is going back to one of my picture books I published last year. It's about a little elephant boy, or I can show more natural based ideas. I have some other illustrations with nature elements, especially trees, which I love. It's hard to choose. What do you think? Should I mention trunk as a part of a tree or an elephant? I'd love to hear what you think. For the prompt bracket, I have a cute idea. I'm drawing an old man whose head is like a little word for birds, trees, and flowers. He's wearing ragged clothes and he's looking happy with a long, huge mustache. The birds are singing around him and he somehow feels completely connected to nature. For the prompt ornate, I'm going to illustrate a wizard, yes. She'll have a big ornate hat and magical wand, which is designed with a lot of details. She's not a bad one. I'm drawing a good wizard, and of course I'll add wings. As you might know, wings are one of my favorite things to illustrate. If you enjoyed this video so far, I will be very happy if you support my channel by clicking the like and also subscribe for more. I think deal is another tricky prompt. I'm going back to the boy from the shredded prompt. This time he's dealing with real ghosts. signing some mysterious contract. Maybe he's trying to make promises to step away from the world of goods and stop pretending that he's one of them, or maybe he's selling them some magical weapons. Who knows? Arctic is the next prompt, and there is a lot you can do with this one. You could go focus on the natural environment like animals, or you can focus on cultures of people living there. I'm going for a surrealistic illustration, a little girl sitting on the back of a whale fishing. Yes, it's pretty surreal. The whale and girl are working together to catch fish. Yeah, it might be a bit dark. Okay, it's time for the last prompt for this video. It's rival. This one's pretty easy to illustrate. You could do games, battles, historical scenes, or like me, make connection between different prompts. That way, at the end, you have a bunch of related artworks for your portfolio. I'm illustrating the little boy I mentioned earlier, trying to face a huge something, I don't know, magical. Maybe a demon? Maybe. But it looks kind of silly in kind, offering a pizza to the little boy. And the boy is just trying to be brave and determined and not making connections because maybe he wants to eat that pizza. Okay, here's my little assistant trying to ask me hard for a rest. And yeah, my pencils are not safe from his bite. And this is the bigger sketchbook I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I cleaned up some ideas for this week. And yes, this one is for deer. I'm going to show you how I do the inking for my illustrations. Before starting, I try to get inspiration by taking a look at other artists' artworks. For example, Mari is one of my favorite artists, and I really adore her illustrations. She works really well with ink. As you can see, she uses pens, fineliners, and adding some white spots on the black colors to make contrast and make details. Details are really important when you want to work with ink because there is no color and you just need to make some textures by doing different lines and different quality and shapes in lines. But when you feel close to this technique, you will find it really useful and pretty much helpful for doing sketches and brainstorm ideas. You can also have access to a lot of illustrations based on inking and fineliner techniques on Pinterest. I usually do the research before starting my artworks. It doesn't need to be an art challenge to get inspiration from other artists. Even when I want to do picture books, I of course try to study a lot of artists. That way you will have a lot of ideas on your mind and you can get more creative during doing your artworks. Fineliner technique is really interesting. The way you move your hand and pen on the paper and the lines or dots you create can give you all kinds of textures. Creating shadows with fineliners is tricky. You can't really change the tone or brightness with pressure. Instead, you make shadows and highlights by layering lines. Another tricky thing about working with fineliners is how sensitive they are. Even the smallest hand movement shows up quickly. and mistakes aren't always easy to fix. But that doesn't mean you should be afraid of fineliners. I actually find them really fast for brainstorming and sketching. I've always wondered how I could generate ideas quickly without worrying about carrying lots of materials, especially on trips or when working outside. Fineliners are definitely the materials I've been looking for. Working with this material is really clean. No water, no tissues, your hands stay clean, and it dries really fast. Plus, the paper you use is not really sensitive. You can use any kind of papers you want. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to read your comments. If you paid close attention, you might have noticed I skipped one prompt, blunder. I still don't have an idea for it, so I'd love for your ideas to share your suggestions. Also, please consider subscribing to support my channel. I'm doing my best to create fun ideas and videos. I have a great playlist with all the sketches from this video plus 4 other Inktober videos. I'll add the link on the screen and in description. See you in the next one. You can find the final piece of this deer at the end of the video. See you!